In the previous lecture, you've learned how a command is composed, how to run it by pressing the Enter key, and that once a command has been executed, the prompt reappears in order to let you run another one. In this lecture, we'll see how we can run a sequence of commands instead of one by one, and how to execute them conditionally. It often happens that a certain task requires the execution of multiple commands. We can of course run each command individually, but running them in a sequence can sometimes be quite useful. Beyond helping with clarifying the writing of a command and the reading of its output, it allows the shell to group this chain of commands into a single entry in the history list, which will allow you to rerun the whole sequence at once in the future. Now, to achieve this, all we have to do is place a semicolon symbol in between each command of our sequence. If we wanted, for example, to echo John, then wait for 2 seconds using the sleep command and then echo Doe, we could chain our 3 commands like this. As you can see, these commands have been successfully executed one after the other, but what if now we wanted to execute or skip one of them based on the success or failure of the one before it? And the answer to that is of course conditional execution. But before we get to that, let me briefly introduce you to what we call the exit status. As you may know, computers are at their lowest level binary. On the software level, they're composed of zeros and ones, which can be further extended into the concept of false and true, failure and success. Programs in essence behave the same way, as they either fail at their task or succeed at it, which is determined by their exit status. Simply put, the exit status, also called return value, is an integer value that is returned by a program at the end of its execution. By convention, a program will return the value 0 if everything went well, and another value comprised between 1 and 255 if something went wrong. This value is stored in a special character combination, which is the $? that can be displayed using the echo command you know. If we run this command, for example, and print its exit status, we can see that the returned value is indeed 0 as the string hello was successfully printed in our terminal. Now that we know how to evaluate if a program succeeds or fails, let's see how we can use that in combination with the logical operators and or in order to introduce whenever needed conditional execution within our commands. When using the AND operator, symbolized by a double ampersand, the right side expression called an operand will only be evaluated by the shell if the exit status of the left side expression is equal to 0, which means in this example that command 2 will only be executed if command 1 succeeds. When using, on the other hand, the OR operator symbolized by a double vertical bar, the right side expression will only be evaluated by the shell if the left side expression is different from 0, which means in that case that command 2 will only be executed if command 1 fails. Let's put this into perspective by using the Boolean expressions false and true, which are respectively interpreted by the shell as the values 1s and 0. If we run true and echo, for example, the word hello is indeed successfully printed as the value of the left side expression, which is true, is considered to be 0. If we now replace true by false and rerun this command, we can see that nothing is printed since the left side expression is evaluated to 1, which is considered failed. By doing the same exercise with the OR operator instead, you'll notice without much surprise that we naturally obtain opposite results. As you can see here, echo is executed when the left side expression is evaluated to false and vice versa. Now, the last thing I'd like to mention is that commands, options, and arguments, semicolons, and logical operators are not mutually exclusive and can be combined all together like this. So if you're up for a challenge, pause the video for a minute and try to guess what will the output of this command be before it runs. And of course, run it yourself to get comfortable with the new elements we've just seen.